The Bible can take anywhere between 5 months and never to read because people don't want to read it. It's really confusing. So I'm going to explain to you the story of Christianity in 5 minutes. 2,000 years ago in the Middle East, a man named Jesus lived, died, and came back to life to save humans from being punished by him after they die by being sent by him to a place where they burn in fire forever. A place of eternal flames. Basically a huge human soul barbecue that nobody can escape. A lava pool party at the devil's house. An afterlife of being one of Satan's little marshmallows at his never-ending bonfire that Jesus made for him, and everyone that he sends there. A place called hell. And the story goes that the devil, aka Satan, is the enemy of God, that God is the creator of the universe, and humans, and everything, and that Jesus is God's human son, who is basically like the CEO of the whole operation. Now, it implies that Jesus is God, too, so he technically is his own dad, too. And then there's the Holy Spirit, which is basically like the oogada boogada guy from Crash Bandicoot, except it's from God. Now, the whole story starts in a garden where the first humans, named Adam and Eve, screw over humanity forever by eating a fruit that God told them not to eat. But Satan, who was a snake, by the way, told them to eat. And then God curses the rest of future humanity, making it so that they all die and either get to live with Jesus and God after they die, or go to hell, depending on a few factors. Okay, so by killing his son, who was perfect, God deemed it okay to not send some people to his version of Burning Man for not being perfect like his son.
Put your hands in the air.
And his rescue mission of rescuing some humans from his decisions was really quite strategic and, honestly, pretty Maury Povich.
You are not.
So God impregnates a virgin woman named Mary so that she will give birth to his son, but she had no idea. Just a tad rapey. So Mary gets pregnant, and Mary and her fiancé Joseph hadn't had sex yet, so that was some drama. Because who's gonna believe that her baby dad is God, right? Woo! Yeah, so Mary gives birth to the baby, and when he grows up, he starts performing miracles, Chris Angel style.
Is that your credit card?
Basically becomes the town magician, huge following, starts fucking shit up saying his dad is God, and some people were like, somebody needs to kill this guy. And so they killed him against his will, which was his will, because according to the story, that was his plan all along anyway. And then 3 days later, he comes back to life. Well, I'm back. And then floats into heaven to go live with his dad. And heaven is their luxury home in a different dimension that only Christians who believe in the Jesus story and accept him as their master get to go live in after they die too. Now, according to the story, everyone who doesn't believe the story and accept Jesus as their master are fucked after they die. And not only does it say people are supposed to believe it and accept Jesus as their master, it implores people to telepathically communicate with Jesus and be sorry for the things he doesn't like, called sins. Sins include stealing, lying, and being gay. And getting a tattoo. And being horny and stuff. Well, actually, no, being horny is okay, kind of. It's complicated. And it says that he can see everything that you do, so better start praying, you know what I'm saying? And God, Jesus, and the devil are all invisible. You can't see them, but the story says that they are there. Here. Inside. You. Now, here's where the story gets really intense. It says that Jesus is going to come back to Earth to establish his kingdom on Earth and will raise the dead Christians and levitate the living Christians into heaven. But that nobody knows when. And that there will be a time of torment and toil upon the earth that he lets happen. Of course, it's part of the plan. With demons running amok, the gates of hell open. The Bible characterizes it as the great day of his wrath, or a time called the tribulation. Not a great time to be alive. Unless you're Christian. Then you get to fly. So Jesus returns with his crew to establish his kingdom on earth, which will last for 1,000 years. And then it says God's gonna create a new heaven and a new earth before him and his dad destroy this earth. Nope, Stephen King did not write it. He f***ing wishes. It was written by about 40 different people, but they wrote that God used them to write it. And that you're supposed to tell everyone you can this story so that they believe it too, so that they can be saved by God, from God. Now, for some reason, people love to think that Jesus would have looked like Nicolas Cage. But according to science, he actually would have looked something like this. But that just doesn't look as good on a candle, you know? Anyway, the gist of the Christian story is called the gospel, which translates to the good news, which is that he loves people so much that he wants to save them from the place that he made, that he will send them if they don't believe the story and love him back. And that, my friends, in short, is the story of Christianity.